Hey guys, and welcome back to the show today. And today I'm going to be talking about low back pain. And this is kind of a takeaway I heard one of my stretch mobility coaches saying in the clinic, and I'm going to just take a quote from a client and what they said and turn it around into a video to be able to better help possibly that client or even more of you that maybe have the same misunderstanding. And it's about low back pain and if low back pain is actually hereditary. So guys, welcome back to the show. This is the Stretch Mobility Coach YouTube channel, and I am Kim Nartker, and I help people experiencing pain and tightness get to the root cause of the problem in order to fix that problem long term. And today I want you to better understand back pain, if it is hereditary, and what successful long-term treatment is required so that you can avoid surgery. All right, so let's get started. So I have a long-term client at our Beckett facility that has been on a maintenance program with us for a few years. And he sees us once a month for his back, and he's given constant recommendations to follow in order to stay away from back surgery. Now, he does not follow the complete recommendations because on the days he comes in, he's actually feeling good. So he doesn't see the need or the benefit to step back and change what he's already doing because he feels like it's working for him. The stretch method testing can actually see when the deconditioning cycle is active in a body. And the deconditioning cycle is the cycle that is a communication between our nervous system, our joints, and our muscles. And that cycle is active in many joints of the body. And I'm not going to get to the root cause, but just know that if this cycle is present and not corrected, then it doesn't matter what treatment you choose. If you just take the pain away, you're not going to fix your problem. And this is what is happening with most people. We're able to start correcting this cycle when we find that it has restarted, and the clients that come through our clinic start a program and we do our particular testing measures. We find out what the problem is, and then we put together a successful program. And once they're finished with that program, our clients lead into the next step or the next phase in the program, which is now, since they're out of pain, now rebuilding the musculoskeletal system and regenerating it so that that cycle can be completely broken and they get long-term results. The problem here for most clients is that that cycle is happening and you're not going to feel anything when it's happening. It's kind of like a ticking time bomb in the musculoskeletal system. Let me explain this a little bit more. This cycle leads to muscle loss and atrophy. It leads to joint restrictions, and it leads to nervous system messaging that sends off pain responses. And this actual pain response we call chronic pain, and it's actually stored in a different part of our brain. And once it's stored in the brain, guys, we're not just dealing with the muscle, the joint, and the nervous system. There's a fourth component that we're having to deal with. So I don't want to get into the science just yet of this. I just want you to see the urgency of following through with recommendations before your back goes completely out and you're down for days or weeks. So the typical scenario that happens when a person experiencing their back going out, I want to go through that right now. Some of those people come to us, their back is going out, and they come to us, and we can get them back on their feet and moving fairly quickly. And they actually get on a prescribed program, and they're starting to feel better, move better, get back into their life, and pain doesn't seem to be limiting them. So it leads them to believe, hey, I'm totally fixed. I don't need to do anything more right now. And as soon as they start feeling that way and they're moving better, they may or may not follow up with the recommended care that is required to get that long-term success. And not signing up for that while their body is still progressing through that deconditioning cycle, this can lead to irreversible damage. And damage here and pain here to us is sort of equal. The longer the pain and tightness, the more degenerative changes occur. And then that leads to damage to the joint, the muscle, and then the nervous system, and subsequently that area in the brain where it is stored. So now it's a fourth component that is a part of that system. Now, the deconditioning cycle continues, and this person's going to come back again after a few visits. And then over time, they're going to do the same cycle. It's going to be not unlike what a traditional therapy is. You know, you go in, get rid of the pain, you come back. And our clinic is a preventative clinic. So a person that goes in, gets rid of the pain, works a little bit longer than typical, maybe stops that deconditioning cycle, but is not following up to see if it's truly stopped or it remains in a stopped cycle. That cycle starts back and the body doesn't say, hey, I'm going to start a deconditioning cycle for you. Okay. That's why I call it a ticking time bomb. So they then may do this over a period of a year, 2 years, 3 years, and not follow the recommendations of the specialist because, you know, they don't feel any urgent need to do that and they're feeling okay. Well, this deconditioning cycle is continuing to build and hold the joint. The muscle is atrophying, and then ultimately you're being held by your skeletal system, and there is no muscular function that is providing the stability that it's supposed to provide. Some of those people are going to throw their back out. They're going to do normal things and throw their back out, and then they're going to come back again, get a little bit better. And again, I call this a Band-Aid treatment. After time, and I mean 2 to 3 years, this person may speak to a friend or a family member that ended up having surgery that didn't maybe go that preventative route. And right after the surgery, and when I say right after, I may mean, you know, when you get into that peak of, you know, the surgery has settled down, you don't have the acute inflammatory response and the healing response of the surgery, the body may feel and not send any symptoms or signals to you to show you there is any pain, because now the body is adapting to the post-surgical repair and the deconditioning cycle that was already there. So it's trying to figure out what it needs to do to allow you to walk, run, sit, stand, squat, roll over in bed, and do those functional activities. However, that is going to be short-lived, because once the body repairs from all of that stuff, and this is based on every individual, then at some point you're going to have pain again, because that surgery cannot resolve the root cause of the problem. And if you talk to people when you're in that good feeling, then people that have worked so hard on their body or maybe band-aiding it, they may feel like, okay, if I go out and have surgery, I'm going to feel as good as he or she feels right now. Now, 2 months down the road, this person may feel worse, but this person's already gone out and had the surgery. So you need to understand consumer behavior and what is actually happening in your back so that you can better understand what type of treatment you need to look out for. The problem is here that once you have a surgery and you take something out or you scrape something out of your back, it's just going to delay the onset of another pain, and that pain is going to be stronger and more intense each time it is not resolved, because the body is now going back, compensating, making adjustments for you to be able to walk, sit, stand, move, twist, turn, all of those things. And let me kind of back up a little bit. Let me take some time and discuss what successful long-term treatment looks like so you can kind of better understand what's going on with the body to prevent a surgery, or even after you've had a surgery, what you need to do to not ever have to have that surgery again. Over the last 10 years, I've seen people that are experiencing pain or tightness that have tried everything. They've tried physical therapy, they've tried chiro, stretching, personal training, holistic services, massage, you name it. Most of you have already tried some of those things. Now, I created the stretch method for this reason. The stretch method is a successful long-term treatment program, and it works if those recommendations are followed. And there are many layers to overcome when a person comes in for treatment for pain and tightness. And successful treatment is not just a few treatments. In fact, to rebuild muscles that are completely atrophied, that means they are no longer present, nor are they working to support the joints that they're supposed to support, then to rebuild muscles after they are in a deconditioned state takes a specialty treatment to not only fix the underlying problem, but also rebuild these muscles to make them start contracting again and supporting the joints in the way they're supposed to so that you can move without compensation, which leads to injury. Oftentimes, when you're in a deconditioning cycle, you're not going to feel what is happening here. In fact, you're not going to feel what is happening after your first pain response because your body is simply amazing. Your body is sending messages to allow compensation to occur so that when you move, you can do that movement without any disruption. That's why you experience pain or tightness after, or you feel that achiness when you go down to sit or lay down at the end of the evening and you're like, I must have just overdid it today. This now leads you down a dysfunction path that will cause pain and tightness for long periods of time. Now, up into 2020, this cycle was really unknown. In fact, I feel like we're just at the tip of the iceberg with this unknown process called the deconditioning cycle. So stay tuned as we dive deeper into future episodes of what this is and how we actually break it down. Right now, we know that successful long-term treatment to avoid surgery must involve a more comprehensive testing of the neuromusculoskeletal system in order to develop a successful long-term program. Now, the stretch method provides this testing, and this testing is ongoing throughout treatment. And treatment starts where the problem is and then works to reverse the problem and improve areas of damage while rebuilding the neuromuscular system. This treatment is longer term and involves a more skilled approach with testing and program development. And the result keeps a person away from surgery when they follow the complete process. Now, getting back to my client's story and why he is now saying, hey, my mom was experiencing low back pain and saw the ortho doctor and had to have back surgery, and I'm experiencing all those same symptoms, and I think that my pain in my back is hereditary, and I think that I am going to have surgery. Now, I totally can see how this client feels this way. In fact, our emotions and thought patterns lead us to believe that this is an easier alternative, that, hey, it's just hereditary, so I'm going to have surgery. Now, after seeking care, going through the program portion, signing up for the maintenance appointments, seeing improvements, being able to do things this client wanted to do, like home remodeling, golfing, working, etc., you can see why, if he's feeling good, why follow through a deeper treatment just because he is being told that this is what needs to be done to stop the deconditioning cycle. Well, from what we have found, guys, over the last decade, if you do not break this deconditioning cycle, this leads a person directly to surgery. In fact, low back pain is not hereditary. 1 out of every 2 people will experience low back pain in their lifetime, and there are many, many factors that play into pain and tightness, and a person will experience pain and tightness in their back at some point. The one clear factor that we do have seen and we've seen is that it leads a person directly to surgery when the deconditioning cycle is never reversed completely with traditional treatments that just help decrease pain. In fact, traditional treatments only provide temporary release from pain without providing a long-term result. What this means is that urgency is required when the deconditioning cycle is active in the neuromusculoskeletal system. That is going to be what is necessary for long-term relief of low back pain to be achieved. A proven program that is skilled and recommended must be followed, and proper testing must be ongoing for the rest of your life to ensure that that deconditioning cycle is not restarted without your knowledge. And at our Westchester Beckett Stretch Mobility Coach Clinic, we found that once we test and find the deconditioning cycle to be active, successful treatment only starts with pain relief. True long-term relief and prevention of surgery requires progressive treatments that build on the initial testing and progress based on continued testing and treatment progression. That means that a stretch mobility coach is the only licensed professional that is trained and certified in these advanced testing skills and treatment programs. Now, these programs are advancing as we test and treat more people that are experiencing pain and tightness. And low back pain, guys, is not hereditary and can be successfully treated without surgery. The key to avoiding surgery is to follow all recommendations until the damage is found and it is improved and that is completely restored. For those with starting signs of degeneration, treatment is actually lifelong due to the progression of degeneration and how it relates to nutrition and health. True successful lifetime treatment due to your current diet, health, stress, and life experiences vary based on the person. Surgery is sometimes recommended, but not always the long-term solution to musculoskeletal problems. If you do have to go the surgery route, in order to not continue on that path of one or even more surgeries, consider scheduling a stretch mobility coach consultation to see where you are today so that we can see if you have an active deconditioning cycle in those joints and so that we can keep you away from further surgery or surgery altogether. Now, guys, I hope this video helps you. If you want to look for a coach in your area, you can do that by going to thestretchmobilitycoach.com/find a coach. And if there is not a coach in your area currently, then please go ahead and fill out that form so that we can get in touch with you and we can start you on something that can start relieving your pain so that you can gain some confidence and gain some strength until we can have a coach in your area. Go ahead and look below. I'll put a link below these show notes so that you have that. Thanks again for joining me today. I hope you find this information to be helpful.